Basically, we're looking at the stipends that we get. That's the first thing. That's the first thing that's going to get cut back.
I've been involved with the ASI. I've been involved with also student organizations.
I would look into it and weigh in the pros and cons before I make any cuts.
Well, I think over my 4 years here at Cal State Long Beach, I think I've built like a good, strong qualifications. Like I've been involved with the ASI. I've been involved with also student organizations. And I've also, I'm a student, and so I really love representing the students as a senator at large right now. And so I just feel like, I'm doing what's right for the students.
People should vote for me because as treasurer, I want to make sure that every dollar goes back to students, as in that the money has an impact on students and not to spend on unnecessary spending. And also, I'm responsible and organized. I've always been managing money. As president of Chinese Student Society, I've been budgeting for events like the Lunar New Year Festival. And I'm also on the Human Resources Committee where I have to take part in determining people's salary.
Treasurer position relates a lot to, accounting, business-related activity. I'm an accounting major myself. I'm also a finance major. I was treasurer for my fraternity for a year. And I think that puts me in front of my other candidates because I don't see that experience from them.
Well, from what I know right now is we're giving them like a certain percentage that each department that you have to cut. But we're not telling you what things you need to cut. Everyone is going to have to sacrifice a little, but that department determines, what they can sacrifice.
What effect is this going to have on ASI?
Just pretty much some programs might not be there, or there might be some employment cuts.
I don't believe any position should be cut because USU has a great opportunity for students to work. So I don't believe in cutting any of them, but I believe maybe limiting some hours, such as when less people are around, have less people working.
Basically, we're looking at the stipends that we get. That's the first thing. That's the first thing that's going to get cut back. Then probably, I think we do spend a lot of money on ASI on the yearbook, and that's something that probably can be sustainable on itself. It probably doesn't need money from ASI. We're going to be looking at any expenses that really don't require money from ASI.
For me personally, I wouldn't mind being a cut because when I went to ASI, I completely thought everything was voluntary. My expectancy for the position was just to do the position well and to make sure the students are being served. And so, I mean, if they do have to cut my, the salary that would be going to me, for me, it would be fine.
If you were elected ASI treasurer, and would you voluntarily cut some of your pay so that some positions don't get cut?
I would look into it and weigh in the pros and cons before I make any cuts. And I would ask people, in general, I would meet with all the staff to ask if we would voluntarily cut, lower our pay for now.
I don't need a BlackBerry. I don't need all that, Just so I'm totally up for cutting back on those expenses. We really do need more money for all that, or the orgs and all that, because they're hurting a lot.
How much of your salary would you be willing to give back to ASI?
Well, if it's 18,000, I probably need about 1,000 or 2,000 of that. I don't really need it all.
Would you be willing to give up at least $9,000 or half of your salary?
Yeah, I think half, probably half or less. I mean, half or less is what I will be willing to get, and then the rest I'll just donate back to ASI.